Welcome on back, YouTube. Welcome on back. Welcome to another episode of Beeple Reactions, the most entertaining channel on YouTube. Mr. Beeple is the artist behind the most expensive NFT to have ever been sold at $69 million. 69 million US dollars. And this image is just crazy beyond imagination. If you want to see these images for yourself, the link is in the description to Beeple's website. And if you didn't know, he got 5,000 individual images which he designed day after day after day, combined them all together and made one supreme crazy image, which is also an NFT that sold for $69 million. So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out. And the image we're going to be looking at today has something to do with Mr. Donald Trump. And today's image is titled "Shut This MF Up." No, that's not my title. That's not a title I've come up with myself. Every title which I place on my videos and I announce during the video is the title that the artist Beeple himself has come up with. So he has titled this image "Shut This MF Up." You know, MF meaning a swear word. I don't want to say it and get my video taken down, but shut this MF up. Shut him up. So that's the title of this video. Now I find this image very difficult to look at, very squeamish and very gruesome. You know, I don't like seeing these pink things in these holes, but yeah, man. So what are we seeing in this image? It seems to be a very dark backdrop, a very dark setting. We have, of course, a massive face of Donald Trump, and coming out of Donald Trump is what looks like a horrible disease, a horrible infection of some sort. You've got these pink bubble things, these pink germs coming especially around his mouth area, all these pink germs. You've got them stemming out of his face and you've got them rolling across the floor. So in terms of this image right here, in comparison to other Beeple images, there isn't a hell of a lot going on. There isn't too many things to address. It's fairly straightforward. You've got Donald Trump and you've got germs all over this man's mouth region. So what does this image show? What does this image represent? What does it all mean? I think it's quite obvious. And you know, it's not just Donald Trump, but you know, a lot of these political leaders and a lot of these influencers, you know, who really should not deserve the right to speak, but they have the most right to speak because they have the most followers and the biggest audience. And honestly, a lot of the times what they're talking is just absolute nonsense. They're not talking sense, they're not talking solutions, they're just talking in code. They're coming up with all sorts of trickeries and all sorts of fooleries, all sorts of false promises. And as you know, Mr. Donald Trump, unless you've been living under a rock, if you've been paying attention to the media, if you've been watching the news, you know that this man right here, Donald Trump, has been saying a lot of stuff. He's been saying controversial things. He's been saying offensive things, you know, to certain races and certain nationalities. He's been extremely inconsiderate to certain groups of people, and just everything this man says seems to be controversial. Everything this man says seems to cause some sort of problem, some sort of riot. You know, the first image we reacted to on this channel was also about Donald Trump, you know. So this man is a man of a lot of controversy, and you see him again and again within Beeple images. He is definitely one of our reoccurring characters. Beeple has an obsession with Donald Trump, and of course the world has an obsession with Mr. Donald Trump. You know, he is an entertaining man, I'll give him that. He is an entertaining man. And compared to politicians in the past, I definitely paid more attention to Donald Trump simply because of the fact that he was so entertaining. But you know, the man is clearly not healthy. He's obviously not someone who's healthy. His skin doesn't look healthy. His posture doesn't look healthy. And the sound in his voice definitely did not sound healthy. So, you know, what this man is emitting, anything this man is giving off, is essentially promoting bad health. And is essentially promoting some type of vermin. I think anyone who's, you know, been paying attention to the things that Trump says Well, of course, depending on what you believe, you know, because there are a lot of people out there, they are pro-Trump, they do support the man. There are a lot of people who are against him. Me personally, I'm not into uh, US politics because I don't live in the US, so it doesn't really affect me. But all I hear is what I see, what I may come across on social media, or what I may hear on the news. And of course, this man is clearly not a perfect man, Donald Trump. But I would say this image right here, I guess it's a form of propaganda. You know, perhaps Beeple is trying to deliver some form of government propaganda by telling people to go against Trump, telling people that everything that comes out of Trump is germs and it's vermin and it's nasty and it's mucus. One thing that's definitely noteworthy about Donald Trump is that when this whole pandemic was released, Donald Trump was in presidency. And of course, you know, the stars were in alignment. You've got one of the most controversial presidents ever, followed by one of the most controversial regimes ever. You know, it's very coincidental. And this image just shows that everything coming out of this man is diseased, it's infected, and it spreads. And as you know, a lot of what Donald Trump is doing and he's saying is spreading. I remember at one point he was offending Kim Jong-un, who is the dictator of North Korea, and having issues over there with North Korea. I remember one time he said something about some celebrity, and then, you know, the celebrities are getting onto him. So this guy, everything he says seems to trigger people, it seems to escalate. And this image is fairly simple to understand. I do see it as a form of propaganda, because of course Mr. Beeple, his images and his artwork is certainly very fascinating, it's certainly amazing, and it certainly takes a certain level of genius to be able to produce this quality of images. However, Beeple himself is not a god. This artist himself, he is not God, he is not the Almighty. And as much as they are trying to make these images out as if they're some sort of religion that perhaps they want the younger generation to follow, Beeple is just a man. He does have his own opinions, and his opinions make their way into his artwork. So you may agree with some images and what is being depicted, you may not agree with certain others, but we definitely need to watch out for this propaganda, and this man is certainly against Trump. Now that's all for this video. Yeah, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you leave a comment, and please share the videos, guys. You know this is the best channel on YouTube. I know this is the best channel on the YouTube, but we need the world to know. I want 1 million subscribers. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Till next time on the Throned Out YouTube page.